I know it's been a while, but yes, it might be Wednesday, but it is time for a brand new episode of the Sunday Night Slam, middle of the week edition, and this is the only wrestling podcast that is friends with Mae Young's hand on Facebook. Welcome to SNS, guys. My name is Richard, and joining me is my partner in life and on this show, Miss Ashley.
I'm not sure that is something that you should be telling people.
That is something you brag about at parties. Like, it's right up there with, look, I won a Kids' Choice Award.
What is it with you and the strange obsession with Kids' Choice Awards?
I always wanted to own one. I want one. I'm looking on eBay for one. If anybody knows who has a Kids' Choice Award for sale, please hit me up. Send us an email. Go to tbkmagazine.com, hit the little contact form, and let me know if you know someone who has a Kids' Choice Award for sale.
Please don't.
No,
I don't want to buy a Kids' Choice Award.
No, because someone on another show said they would buy it for me. Because honestly, that's the coolest thing ever. Like, I want the Kids' Choice Award to sit right next to the hand Mae Young delivered on Raw. Like, I want the weirdest possible shit in the weirdest possible thing ever. Like, if I'm going to collect something, I want some weird ass crap. Like, I want, like, the bandages that were around Sting's knee when he blew it out in 1990. Like, I want that. And then, like, Mae Young's hand. And then like, that autograph photo of Scott Hall that fell out of the San Francisco 49ers match on Nitro. That's what I want.
You make no sense.
How are you? Everybody listening's like, I remember that match. That match was shite. How are you, Ashley?
I mean, I'm okay. I could be better, but Sunday messed that up.
Oh my God. We'll talk about Money in the Bank in a minute. I gotta say, this is one of the weirdest times to be a wrestling fan I've ever experienced in my fandom. Like, I remember back in the 80s, and yeah, there were two companies then, but it was mostly like growing up when you're a kid, the Turner and the NWA and like early WCW, I enjoyed, but not as much as I enjoyed the WWE.
Appropriate.
And then the mid-90s happened, and I started to drift towards WCW, and then the NWO thing happened. And it was just a great time to be a fan. And then after WCW got bought out, TNA comes up from the ashes and fucks everything up on a constant basis. We got an Impact story I just can't get over. And then we just go for a long period of time without anybody even coming close.
Yeah.
And then this past week,
it happens.
in New York City at Madison Square fucking Garden, by the way. I don't know if anyone knew that the Turner up front was at Madison Square Garden.
I did not.
That's a fun little tidbit of information for everybody. At Madison Square Garden, at Turner up front, it is announced that AEW will air on TNT.
I mean, I feel like they've made it.
You know, it's one thing. I'm going to move my monitor so I can see your face. It's one thing to go, oh, hey, we're going to be on national television. I mean, TNA was on Fox Sports for a while, FSN. They had a decent like television spot like Saturday afternoons at like 3 or like, but it was on television.
Yeah, and that's not a bad place to be.
And then they ended up moving to Spike in primetime, and that was special. Like, it's the first wrestling promotion that had primetime since WCW, and they fucked it up. And
then
it's
TNA.
Then they went to Destination America, and they fucked it up. Then they went to whatever Pop, and then they fucked that up. And then they went to whatever network they're on now that shows outdoor shows, and they fucked that up. So,
I mean, what?
Ring of Honor was on Destination America.
Really?
They actually was the intro to Impact for a while, and they fucked that up.
How does that work?
Destination America was like, here's 3 hours of wrestling. It's an hour of Ring of Honor and the 2 hours of TNA, which was like, as a wrestling fan, awesome. You giving us more content. That's great. So Ring of Honor...
Like Destination America?
Yeah, Ring of Honor gave us a great in-ring product, and TNA gave better storylines than Ring of Honor, but it was just the shittiest thing to watch both of them, because, like, here's the production quality's just in the they're both in the toilet.
I mean, when you look at WWE, it's hard to come close to that production quality.
Okay, I understand this, but, like, even looking at, like, New Japan, who is probably the closest you're going to get to top-notch production quality.
Yeah.
Even that looked like... I don't know how to put this. that looked like a Broadway theater show compared to freaking Impact and Ring of Honor on Destination America. I don't know why, but when Impact went over to Destination America, it looked like ass. It looked worse than normal. Like, they could have just stuck the TNA logo on a curtain and it would have looked better than what they tried to present for a while.
Ouch. That's a little rough.
So TNT announces that they are back in the wrestling business, because you have to say it like that because it's Turner.
I mean, yeah, that's
so
super exciting, though.
1995. I know you don't know the story, and everybody's listening. Why the hell are you telling this? But there's reasons.
Yes.
1995, Ted Turner invites Eric Bischoff into his office when WCW was on TBS at the time, and that's actually what built the Turner networks.
Yeah.
It was pro wrestling. And there is a throwback Cody did this past week on the Road to Double or Nothing show when they were doing the hype package for him versus Dustin, where Cody released a video at 6:05. And I was like, all right, props to you, sir. Props to you. But so Eric Bischoff gets called into the office at Turner, and Eric thinks he's going in for a meeting about video distribution. And Ted looks at Eric and goes, how do you think we can compete with the WWE? That's probably the best Ted Turner impression I got. And
That's a lazy Vince McMahon impression.
yeah. Oh, by the way, Ashley does have the Vince Russo picture with her right now.
Yeah.
That is on the line.
Yeah.
For Double or Nothing, and we'll get to that.
What happens if it mysteriously vanishes?
I mean, I'm fine with it,
unknown.
but if probably at the next convention we're at, if there's a wrestling personality that we both are like, we don't want them around, I'm going to pay for an autograph and make that the new Vince Russo photo.
That is terrible.
Like, we really need someone else outside Vince Russo, because Vince Russo, it came in a wrestling package, but it's Vince Russo. Nobody wants a Vince Russo autograph. Hell, Vince Russo's wife probably doesn't want a Vince Russo's autograph. And I'm sitting here going, well, I mean, that's the perfect punishment. But if, we go to whatever show they're going to do in Chicago, when AEW comes back to Chicago to do the specialty show in September, because there's an all-in plaque at the Sears Center, so they're running that venue again.
It was a really good venue.
If StarCast 44 happens, we will gladly... I will gladly find someone new to have sign an autograph for.
There's nobody that's going to sign autographs that would be worse than having the Vince Russo autograph.
I don't know, but I could talk to Artie Reynolds and Blade. I'm pretty sure they could find me somebody. Oh my God, they could just give us a new Katie Vick autograph. I got to get those guys on a show.
I mean, you still have the Katie Vick autograph on.
I love that. But okay, so
Eric next to her obituary.
That was funny as shit. One of the highlights of StarCast, and we'll talk about StarCast a little bit because they're having a rough time right now, and not because of them, because of shit going on in life. And I really feel bad for those guys right now. So Bischoff goes up to see Ted, and instead of bringing up the question that Eric prepares for and has like a PowerPoint for, Ted Turner's like, how do you think we can compete with WWE? And Eric just goes, go head to head with him on Mondays. And Ted just gives him a Turner TNT time slot. This is in the infancy stages of TNT. I think TNT had been around for 2 years at this time, and the network wasn't doing great. It was made for TV movies, and it wasn't anything special on TNT yet. And Nitro comes on and just makes TNT number 2. It shoots to number 2. It's right behind the USA Network.
Wow.
And then, they overthrew. And so the last time wrestling aired on TNT was March of 2001.
So it's been 18 years.
18 years.
It's a minute.
And when this announcement came, everybody in the wrestling world looked at each other and went, this is fucking happening. Holy crap. And what a fucking time to do it. WWE right now is, I don't know how to put this any nicer than I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh.
Is the drizzling diarrhea.
I was just going to say it was in the toilet.
Well, it's the shit in the toilet at this point. There's some good things. And we're only talking main roster because this is not a knock on NXT at all.
And it's not against everything.
Did you know
they have some good secondary storylines happening right now.
The 24/7 championship, as ugly as it is, has made me a very happy fan. Because there's some great videos showing up on social media. I hope that championship changes hands on social media 90 times. Like, I am fine with this. If you give me videos of like dudes getting pinned in their sleep, I'm in. Like, they tried doing that a couple of times with the hardcore title. This is, I think a lot with this championship is based on DDT. It's the Japanese promotion where Kenny wrestled the blow-up doll. Or the little girl and Kenta, or I can't think of his name now. Kota Ibushi wrestled the blow-up doll. Joey Ryan held this 24/7 championship. And that's what they do. Like, it's the like pins happen in the different countries and cities, and
I like it.
I'm like, okay, so this idea is fun. But that is like the 14th wrestler that will be holding a championship on the main roster. Jesus Christ.
Which is fine. That's not the point. The point is pick better people.
But we'll get to that in a little
The
bit.
point is pick better people.
So AEW goes to TNT. Raw's losing ratings left and right. SmackDown's losing ratings. Fox isn't happy. Fox wants the damn brand split to end.
Everybody wants the brand split to end.
That's why they started doing the damn wild card rule, which I don't enjoy because it's going to be the same wrestlers on Raw every week. Because right now it has been. It has been the same like 4 people that were on Raw the first time that's on Raw this time.
Yeah.
I don't want that either.
That's because they have not seemed to grasp the concept that you do not have to defend every belt on every show.
I don't want it. Okay, I think if... All right, let's just move into... We're going to do a lot of AEW conversation later. But that is the big story, is AEW to
Yeah,
TNT.
well.
And we'll bring that up again. Guaranteeing it. So Money in the Bank happens this past week, but I have not watched an episode of Raw or SmackDown since the night after WrestleMania. And then before that, I hadn't watched one probably since last year.
We watch bits and pieces and go back and watch the important parts.
Like, you can find those on YouTube.
Like, it is not worth 5 hours of my time every week to watch these programs.
The main roster is not must see. We're back in the day. You could take a show. If you missed Raw, you missed something. Like, you missed something special, even though the shows were shit now going back and watching them. But you missed something. Like, you wanted to be at school the next day after Kurt Angle sprayed the entire alliance with milk. You wanted to talk about that with every one of your friends. Or when Austin drove the beer truck to the ring and sprayed everyone with beer. Or when Austin filled up McMahon's car with cement.
It was always a thing.
Or when the DX did the Nation of Domination impersonations, which is very racist now, but back then we didn't bat an eye. But yeah, you wanted to go to school the next day and talk about that. Now it's just kind of like, meh. Because there's a story that morale's super low in WWE right now. I see it. It's not the in-ring product. The in-ring product's not suffering. The in-ring product's great. Like, and the perfect example of that is the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And actually, both Money in the Bank ladder matches were good. Like, I enjoyed both of those.
The men's Money in the Bank ladder match was great until the last 30 seconds.
Let's just go over I don't know what happened in the pre-show with the tag title match, but I know Daniel Bryan and Rowan are tag champs, so that's all I know. I don't know who walked into that and whatever.
I got to see the first half of that match.
And they sang the SpongeBob
I had to leave, and they called in SpongeBob and Patrick and sang the SpongeBob song, and it made my heart happy.
Which is actually probably not wrong, but...
I mean...
But what a fall down for Daniel Bryan to go from the the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania to the pre-show of the next pay-per-view. But I figure he'll probably win the Battle Royal blood money. If he goes. He may not go. He didn't go last time.
I hope he doesn't.
So
I wish more people would not go.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. So at Money in the Bank, I told you going into the show, there's one match I cared about.
Yeah.
And it was Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles. And that match delivered. My God, that's probably been the best main roster match of the year. All right, great. And outside the 2 Money in the Bank matches, like the women's Money in the Bank match, 100% fine with how that went down.
Yeah, that was really good.
Bayley winning it was great. That was one of the only 2 choices I feel like they could have done. It was either Bayley or I did enjoy Sonya carrying Mandy Rose up the ladder.
I would have been okay if that. I would have been okay if that was the finish.
I thought Ember might be the other great choice for this.
Yeah.
I thought everything was great. I don't know what happened with Carmella. I know that her and Mandy had a exchange of words. I don't exactly know what happened. Yeah. But that match was good. I loved Naomi's Bumblebee outfit. That was great.
Was super cute.
Which is a throwback or a nod to a superhero. And she looked amazing. I thought that match was a great way to start the show, especially with Becky Lynch defending 2 championships, because that's a perfect way for the women's Money in the Bank ladder winner to cash in.
Yeah,
However,
of course.
they did have the Alexa won last year and cashed in on the same night, so they did that story again.
Which, I mean, that's fine. This was a better way of doing that story, I think, than the last one was. Though.
No, it was fun. Like, having Alexa come out and beat Nia Jax in the match with Ronda, whatever. So
they're not going to let Becky 2 belts run for very long.
No.
I would love if they did.
Let's talk about that. Let's go there, because the cage match was awful. Like, I like Shane McMahon. I like The Miz. They have absolutely no chemistry outside. The WrestleMania match was good because you could wander around the building.
Yeah.
The cage match, the ending pissed me off. Like, I was like, it's creative, but I just didn't care. Like, I just lost interest halfway through.
I was not invested in that match at all.
The Cruiserweight title match was better than it should have been.
It was really good.
So shout out to Arya Davari. But yeah, no. So let's get to the women's match. Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans was a lot better than I thought it would be.
I really enjoyed Lacey's outfit.
Yeah, I did too. And her coming out shooting money was out of holsters was great. So
I don't 100% understand it, but
Lacey loses, and then Becky's going back to the back, and Charlotte comes out for her match. It was just like, that's great. Put both matches back to back. That's fantastic. No,
it is.
And
nobody expects that.
Becky's almost got Charlotte beat. Lacey Evans punches her, and then because that sets up more between Lacey Evans and Becky, and I'm fine with that.
I feel like Becky's a really good opponent for Lacey to be focused on right now because I feel like it's helping her a lot.
Yeah, because I didn't realize Lacey was actually decent. Like we've seen a couple of her matches in NXT, and they were like, eh.
It's okay, but I feel like she's the kind of competitor that she's good, but when you put her with a really good opponent,
she's better.
She can be great.
It's like Alexa. Like Alexa's great in the ring, but Alexa's better when she's with someone who can actually work. And not like Alexa with Ronda, even though Ronda's great in the ring. Ronda still is new, but Alexa with Becky Lynch was fun.
Yeah. Lacey is one of the people that needs kind of a veteran with her to elevate the match itself.
So Charlotte wins, and then Lacey Evans and Charlotte attack Becky, and then out comes Bayley to save Becky, and then Bayley drops Charlotte in the corner. Bayley cashes in the Money in the Bank on Charlotte, wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte's now a 9-time Women's champion. I'm sure as hell going to say they're probably going to get to 17 by the end of next month.
Yeah.
The idea is to beat her dad. Like, as soon as that happens, they're going to be done with her. Like, I know that sounds shitty to say, but it is.
I mean, I get that, and it's kind of sad, but
get well, Rick. But we'll talk about that too later. But
Charlotte's good. She deserves 9 championships.
I'm fine with Charlotte. Like, the women's championship has never really mattered in WWE until now.
It's nice to see people getting invested in a women's storyline.
But there's still 2 championships, and I only want there to be 1.
Until they completely kill the brand split, that's what it's going to be.
I think the women should need 1 major, like 1 world championship, and then a secondary. Like, it doesn't have to be a U.S. Like, you don't have to call it the women's U.S. championship or the women's intercontinental, but I assume they're going to go women's intercontinental. I mean, I feel like it would fine with that.
Fine. They can do a European championship.
Women are asking, by the way, on Twitter if they can go after the 24/7 championship, and I swear to God, I hope that happens too.
That would be amazing.
Okay, so back to this. So I thought that was fun. I thought that was one of the highlights of the show. Seth and AJ was fan-freaking-tastic. The show itself, not the worst WWE pay-per-view.
In-ring product was good, and it was an okay storyline through most of it, honestly. Like, it was... Even storylines were okay. And then you get the men's Money in the Bank match, and it was great.
Oh, the men's Money in the Bank match was setting up to possibly be the best damn Money in the Bank match since the first one. Ali, Ricochet, and Finn Balor and Andrade all bumped their damn asses off. And Finn taking that powerbomb spot which bounced him off the ladder is going to be gift forever.
Yeah.
That was sick. Because I was on the phone when that happened, and I went, oh, shit.
You screamed.
I yelled in the damn phone when that happened. That was such a great match. And Ali's climbing up the ladder. And I was like, this is a chance for WWE to build a new damn star.
Because it seems like that's what they want to do. That's what the plan was with him, was to make him something.
Well, not just Ali. Like, original plans was McIntyre was supposed to win the Money in the Bank as a Friday. And, well, they didn't go that route. They went with Brock Lesnar. And
I'm not going to say his name. It's pointless. It makes no sense, and it has ruined it. This is the same principle as having ridiculous people win the Royal Rumble. That is not what that is meant for. That is not how that is supposed to work. This is supposed to give somebody a chance for a title that is not currently in the title picture. Whether they are a former world champion or not, that is not the issue here. The issue here is that this is your chance to elevate someone easily. Even if they don't win their cash-in, you're getting them in a title match, and it is amazing. And what do? You give it to him.
okay, so Andrade would have been a better, like, I would have loved to see Andrade in that spot. Or
After you told me what Vince said about him.
oh, yeah, that we got to talk about that. We'll talk about that after Money in the Bank.
I am angry.
Andrade would have been great. Finn would have been great. Ricochet would have been a surprising choice. Ali would have been a hell of a choice. Hell, when the match started, Baron Corbin would have been a better choice. And well, who's the other two? That's 4. Baron's 5. Randy Orton is 6, and there was a 7th one, and I don't remember who the fuck the 7th one was. And the Money in the Bank's a blur.
McIntyre, yeah. I went into this. I didn't want Baron Corbin to win again, and I did not really want Randy Orton to win.
But I would have took either one of those.
Over who freaking won.
Okay, so here's the thing. Orton is at least a star. Orton has had that. Orton comes across as a star.
I'll give you that.
I'm also pretty sure the person who tied up Sammy's Bray Wyatt, but we're gonna save that for later. Like that's a conversation, and when that happens, I will come back to that. So the main issue I have with this was, like, here's all these guys who deserve a chance, who deserve that spot. That's what the Money in the Bank was created for. Edge capitalized and became a champion. CM Punk capitalized and became a champion. There's others. Daniel Bryan.
I feel like it's made for guys that are right there and should be in the title picture, but it's hard to get them over the hump.
Dolph Ziggler and his fucking cash-in on Alberto Del Rio at the night after WrestleMania 29 is probably the loudest pop you will ever fucking hear for any of the cash-ins, with the exception of Seth. Like, that was it. Like, that was what the Money in the Bank was meant for. And the longer you wait, the more anticipation builds, and, like, when that cash-in happens, holy hell.
It's probably going to happen in, like... 2 weeks.
No, I'm going to tell you when I think it's going to happen, and nobody's going to be happy about it, but we'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
So, the music, Ali's climbed the ladder, the music hits. Here comes Brock. I know I was pissed, and Brock just flungs Ali, hurts Ali apparently, also hurt 2 cameramen in the process.
I saw him push the ladder onto the cameraman.
And climbs up, gets the briefcase. He did come out on Raw last night and do something kind of funny by holding the briefcase like it was a boombox. I thought that was kind of funny, but outside that,
I don't give a shit.
Brock Lesnar winning the Money in the Bank ladder match is the equivalent. I said prom night sex earlier to you. I felt like it was like the equivalent of having sex after prom. Like it's great, and then you finished, and it was anticlimactic as hell. Like, oh, either you came too early or just whatever. But I think I have a better explanation.
Which guy?
You know when you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet?
Okay.
And you get really excited at the beginning, and there's like all of the food, and you eat all the food, and then you can't eat dessert?
Oh.
Brock Lesnar winning the WWE champion, or Brock Lesnar winning Money in the Bank.
Everything that you had before was exciting, and you're really happy to have had that.
But then you're upset that you had that because you can't have the good stuff.
I like that analogy.
That is how I feel after Brock Lesnar won Money in the Bank. I don't care. In fact, I am so past I don't care that I know that I'm probably not tuning in again to either Raw or SmackDown until SmackDown moves to Fox, because I feel that's a big enough show to see until I tell you why I think they gave him the Money in the Bank briefcase.
Why?
To become WWE champion when they moved to Fox.
Why?
Because Fox wants a big name as champion.
There are other big names.
But there's only one name that Fox really wants.
Well, Fox can fuck off.
Fox is the reason they might kill the brand split, though, so I'm fine with that.
I mean, I'm happy with that, but no, that
like,
is not how this works.
Like, they want Ronda Rousey to come back, and Ronda may not. Like, there's a possibility we never see Ronda again. I think Ronda will come back, but it's not going to be at Fox's expense.
No.
I think Fox is getting a little worried now. Especially with the fact that Raw's only getting like less than a 2 in the ratings.
I mean, they should be worried, but they should also know that demanding things like that is not what's going to fix it. Good writing and appropriate stories is what's going to fix it.
And that actually comes with another news story that happened this week, and that's out that Vince rewrote Raw up until and was still rewriting Raw when the show started. So let's take that time machine back. So Money in the Bank's over. I give it a solid D+ or C, because you know what? I'll give it a C because the matches in the ring were really good, but that ending just left such a bad taste in my mouth.
Everything except for the last
2 minutes.
2 minutes. It would have been an A show.
Well, and the cage match was kind of terrible, and Elias and Roman and Lars Sullivan coming out, and that was meh.
That was dumb. But I still would have given it B+, A- level.
I would have given it a B, but that last 2 minutes kills it an entire letter grade. In fact, that last 2 minutes is the worst ending WWE has given us in a very long time to anything. Like, at that point, I think I would have been more accepting of David Arquette WCW champion. In fact, I am more accepting of David Arquette WCW champion right now than I was that ending with Brock. Only because I don't want Brock. But we get to...
I don't feel like real fans want Brock.
There's a lot... There's a few out there that was really happy because it's kind of a surprise ending. But look...
I'm all for surprise endings, but you could have put literally any other random person coming out at the very end like that, and it would have been okay. Any other person, it would have been fine. It is not the surprise ending that is the problem. It is the person that was in the surprise ending that is the problem.
When you have guys out there busting their ass in ring constantly, day in and day out, only to have this part-timer who's making $500,000 a match anyway, who is getting paid more than everybody in the ring combined. Because you know that's true.
I do know it's true.
To come out and just... Honestly, Brock gave no legitimacy. Like, he did at first to the Universal Championship, but he held it for so long and only defended it, 5 times, 6 times in a year? Maybe? And that's pushing luck? That it killed the championship. I don't know what Seth can do to bring that championship back to prominence, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Nothing, because they're probably not going to let him keep it.
Well, no, I'm also sure they're probably going to unify him, and Brock's going to be the one that unifies him.
Well, it's dumb.
Oh, no, it is. I know the rumor right now is they're leaning towards Brock Roman again next year for Mania. Let that
watch that match.
Let that sink in, kids.
And that has nothing to do with Roman.
No, Roman's fine.
Even if you see a Roman Reigns main event every single pay-per-view, it's still a good match.
Oh, Roman's great in the ring. Like, Roman's fine. Like, I don't have an issue with Roman in the ring.
They need to come up with better promos for Roman Reigns. But
I think Roman should cut his own promo. I think that's part of the issue, too. But, Vince, okay, so that's where we are. So, Raw's being wrote right up until the beginning of the show by Vince. Rewrote. You have a staff of fucking writers who probably have pitched great stories. We just don't know.
I'm sure that things could be amazing.
Like, the writer that quit the night of the Bret Hart thing said there are times that they have pitched so many stories that were so good. They believed that were so good, and some of the wrestlers believed they were so good, and Vince shot them down.
I don't like the idea of one person controlling everything. There needs to be a final voice, but you can't let that one voice overrule a dozen others.
At this point, I don't know if Vince is a control freak, and we're learning that more and more throughout stories. Like Ryback's telling stories on his podcast now. If you haven't checked it out, you should. It's really good. Ryback's telling stories on his podcast about Vince McMahon and how much control he has, and it's insane. Like at this point, and there's that rumor out there that's floating that Triple H is frustrated. And,
I could see why.
oh no, like Triple H has built a lot of these guys up in NXT. Guys like Shinsuke Nakamura and, well, Bailey for that matter, and The Revival. You could name wrestlers. Asuka. You could name wrestlers.
Finn Balor.
You could name wrestlers all day.
Andrade.
Andrade is probably the big one right now. And Vince just...
He's one of the few that still has a chance to recover.
Finn, Andrade, and Bailey are about the only three that could recover. I don't know if Asuka even can at this point, especially naming her tag team with Kairi Sane the Kabuki Warriors. Fuck Vince, it's not 1982. But
terrible idea.
Oh no, it is. But I'm at this point, I'm sure Vince is so far out of touch. I don't know if Vince is going to step down or step back when the XFL starts, and I think that's everyone's hope right now because I think Vince is burned out. This is the exact what's the word? You know when you're feeling the burnout and like you know when you go to work and you're just not producing 100% quality all the time.
Yep.
That's exactly what's going on with Vince McMahon. I think Vince is just burned out. The guy's never taken a vacation. The guy never takes vacations. He never takes days. It's that situation.
And that's not healthy.
No. And you see Triple H and Stephanie going to sporting events and all that. And Triple H just looks healthy. Stephanie looks healthy. Like everybody looks good. Shane McMahon's probably in the best shape of his life. Like the company's going to be fine. In fact, you know the company's going to be fine when you go watch an NXT takeover.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did you know there was a takeover in 3 weeks?
No.
Takeover 25. Yep.
When?
June 1st.
Where?
Connecticut.
Oh. I missed that.
Yeah. That's because there hasn't been really much announcement on it.
But it's a takeover.
Main event for that show, by the way, is Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole Bebe for the NXT Championship.
Ooh.
And then they're going to determine new NXT Tag Team Champions at that show.
I'm excited about this now. I did not know that existed.
So, yeah, because it was supposed to be in San Jose, and they had to move it because of WWE blood money. So Vince is rewriting shows. So let's take that history. Let's take that time machine back to 1995. Okay. Let's go back to Nitro. During the NWO, like right at around after the NWO, or probably during the NWO, there's all these stories that's come out now that WCW was rewriting the show as the show was going on.
That can't be safe.
It's not. I mean, WCW got away with it for a while, but eventually that caught up with them. I feel that's this, like, everything you're hearing about WWE now is everything you heard about WCW then. I don't know how to comprehend that as a fan.
Well, we know that the company is not going to fail because it's WWE and they have the money to make sure that they don't
They're
fail.
making such enough money off the commercial deals for USA and Fox. They're fine. Like,
they're not going to fail and fold like WCW did.
Yeah, we're not going to see Tony Khan or from AEW or Sinclair from Ring of Honor or
somebody show up on WWE.
Don Callis,
own this now.
Don Callis from Impact coming in and going, I own WWE. No, that's not going to happen.
That's not where it's going, but you could see this company going down hard.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction.
Okay.
By 2021, they are not on television at all.
Oh. You think they're gonna make their own streaming service?
They are. Raw and SmackDown will air on WWE Network.
I didn't mean that the way it sounded.
Yeah, I know. No, WWE Raw and Smack, because Fox has the rights now to do something that USA won't do.
Okay.
Fox has the opportunity to cancel SmackDown.
Oh.
I don't know how many people have talked about this, but it's in their contract. But Fox can cancel SmackDown. with SmackDown underperforming like it is now on USA, which granted, the numbers are going to shoot way higher on Fox. Let's just call it what it is, because it's a network. It's a big network. People with like satellite, like if you have an antenna in your house, you're going to pick that up.
Yeah.
Like you're going to see SmackDown more than you did on USA.
Oof.
If they don't pull something out of their ass and make the product good, Fox will cancel them within a year.
Fox doesn't play with cancellations.
I know, because look at Firefly. And look at Brooklyn
Aww.
Nine-Nine. Look at Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Fox will cancel shit. They don't give a fuck. So, I expect SmackDown to be on WWE Network by the end of 2020. I really do. I think it'll be live. They'll go to 3 hours or 2.5, and they'll run it on the network. Which would probably be 100 times better anyway. Because people would pay $9.99 a month just to watch SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah.
Because the network, I love the network now, but the network has no new content. Or not enough
Very little new content.
Well, outside NXT and 205 and NXT UK. That's 3 hours of wrestling on the network. That's it. A week. That's all the new wrestling you're getting. That's not enough to justify $10 a month, with the exception of the pay-per. Like, the pay-per-views are enough to justify that, just because of how much they cost.
Which is fine, but
when the pay-per-views are shitty...
And they're not releasing new original content frequently
quick.
enough.
Yeah.
And they're not releasing enough of archived footage either.
No, because they just released the Thunder episode where David Arquette won the WCW championship. And I want to watch that Thunder. Just because I remember that. But, like, I don't expect SmackDown to be on Fox more than a year. I just don't. I know that's a crazy thought to make, because I think they're in a contract for 3 to 5 years. I think it might be 5 years, but if it's not doing well,
then they'll find something that'll make more money.
it's on Friday nights. Like, they moved it to Death Night. That's already a shot that I don't know how WWE is going to handle. I mean, it used to be on Fridays, but they would tape on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And the fact but they're not taping the show anymore, and they have to do it live. Whew.
It's worrisome. It's definitely worrisome.
So I don't know what's going on, but Vince is in a bad spot right now, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to see good news coming out from WWE for a while. And Stephanie gave a morale boosting speech, or tried to, before Money in the Bank. And it's like, our competition is streaming services, all these shows that airs, and for the first time ever, WWE acknowledged a rival. And now we're competing with AEW. And I went, they're afraid.
They should be afraid.
Like, they're afraid when they actually mention the company in a thing. Because I think in a speech to the boys and the girls,
they should be afraid. Like, with the quality of stuff they are currently putting out, it will not be hard for them to lose fans to the other option when it's on a major network.
I don't know how AEW is going to do on that debut episode on TNT. I'm not 100%. I don't know when they're going to do it. I know it's not going to be Labor Day, because I feel like that's when they're going to do the Chicago shows that weekend. I could be wrong. They may tape the first episode of their show that weekend,
which would be amazing.
But
not gonna lie, because we could be there for that.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, they're gonna do great on TNT.
They are. They're gonna do wonderfully.
But that first episode is going. It's kind of like when Nitro, which I think we're gonna have to watch the first Nitro at some point. It was like that first Nitro that you start out the whole thing with Sting and Ric Flair, and you just have this huge match that's like a rivalry that has been the franchise of your company, right?
Yeah.
And then in the middle of that match, out comes Lex Luger, and everybody's like, why the fuck is he here? So, are we going to see that again? Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if you can see something that surprising, because people...
There are guys out there, though.
No, but people are more easily in the know on stuff now, and it's really hard to keep a big secret.
There are two guys that it could walk out on that first episode of AEW on TNT, which I think their show is going to be called Tuesday Night Dynamite, but that might change before we get to that point. But there's because I like that just AEW on TNT better than I do anything.
Yeah.
But when you get to that first episode on TNT, you could have one of two guys walk out and change everything.
Okay.
Jon Moxley and CM Punk.
That's assuming that neither of them are
And we'll get to that.
with stuff before that, because I don't know that Jon Moxley is going to wait that long. I feel like he's going to end up in AEW before then.
But I do believe CM Punk is that big name that if you could pull in somehow, some way, because I know Tony, you know what, we'll talk about that during Double or Nothing stuff, because there's a lot coming in from news about AEW right now. Sad news from the world of wrestling and WWE. Ashley Massaro passed away this week. Sending out thoughts and positive vibes to her family and friends. We're not going to talk about the cause of death. I have seen what it is. We were not going to discuss that.
No, we're not going to go.
Just know that if you are feeling down, it is Mental Health Month. There will be someone out there to listen to you, and we'll post phone numbers in the discussion. Lars Sullivan's a piece of shit.
Okay.
Lars Sullivan, about 7 years ago, posted, and I mean, you can change. I'm going to hope for his sake he changed. Was in a online forum and posted homophobic, racist, anti-Semitic posts. And they have all started coming out.
He just hit all of the high points, didn't he?
WWE fined him $100,000 and had him get sensitivity training. So, yeah. I don't know. Like, I know people can change. I'm not going to say they can't. Apparently, him and Titus O'Neil had an amazing conversation where he's like, do you still feel this way? And I guess now they're traveling together. So Titus is a great influence to have. And I think in WWE,
he is.
Like, if you're going to have somebody to road with, like, if I had a choice, like, if I were to travel with WWE for a month, I would love it to either be the New Day or Titus O'Neil. Because with the New Day, you're just going to have a blast. But Titus O'Neil is this amazing guy you want.
He is.
Like,
he's so sweet.
He just comes across as one of the most genuine human beings. I wouldn't mind riding with Kevin Owens and Sammy. I think that would be a weird trip, too.
I'll give you that.
Because they would speak in French probably 70% of the time.
We have a friend that speaks French now. I have to take her to translate.
So, WWE started promoting Blood Money, Super Showdown. But I'm not going to call it that. I'm going to call it WWE Blood Money. During Money in the Bank. You know what? It's now Blood Money in the Bank. During Money in the Bank, promoting that it could be better than WrestleMania. Are you fucking kidding me? I get you want people to tune into this.
It's not worth that. WrestleMania is the greatest show on the grandest stage of them all, and now you're going to say that this random shit in the middle of the desert is fucking better? No. We're not playing that game. Get over yourself.
Not only will it not be better than WrestleMania, like, there are two matches I want to see. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm pretty sure one of those will happen on American soil again anyway. The other thing is that one match should be happening to American fans, and I'm not trying to sound like a dick when I say this, but when you pay, I think they're making $25 million a show. Like, Undertaker is coming back for Blood Money. That's the reason Undertaker's not appearing at StarCast. Like, is because of Blood Money. Let's just call it what it is. I don't want to see... Like, I think we, as wrestling fans who should be seeing Goldberg Taker here first. That's a big enough match. That should have been at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Not at fucking Blood Money. Hashtag WWE Blood Money. Because I'm not letting that go. Like, that is horse shit. The other match I want to see is Andrade and Finn, because it's going to be Demon Balor. I think that'll be fine.
Which is going to be great, but it'll happen.
And 50 men in the ring at once.
That's dumb.
Maybe the 24/7 title will be on the line during that.
That would be hilarious.
I might watch Blood Money just to see that. Like, put the 24/7 championship in the Battle Royal, too. And, like, people are trying to pin the champion and throw others out. You know what? If you put that... If that happens, greatest Battle Royal ever. Outside the one that happened at All In last year.
I'll give you that.
But I don't know. Like, Lesnar's going to take on Seth for the Universal Championship.
Whatever.
We know. We're pretty sure. Like, there's the rumor that Brock will probably cash in at Blood Money, and I'm like, great. It is what it is.
I'm done with this. Let's move on.
You want to talk about non-WWE stuff?
Please.
There is a storyline going on outside in the independent wrestling world.
Okay.
That I am fucking stoked for that's happening. Last week or 2 weeks ago in Massachusetts or Maine, it was one of the northern M states. I don't really... it could be Massachusetts, Maryland, or Maine. In one of the 3 states with an M in the north.
That are not Michigan or Montana.
I said the northeast.
You said north.
Northeast.
You just said north.
Northeast. In the New England area. How's that?
Better.
Jerry Lawler gave a pile driver to David Arquette.
What the hell?
David Arquette and Lawler had a match. By the way, David Arquette needs to be in the Double or Nothing Casino Battle Royale. I hope to God. We see him in that thing. But
you want him to be the last person?
No, but I want him to be in it. Okay, so now David Arquette's cutting promos on Lawler wearing a neck brace going, I'm an actor. I am from Hollywood. And I said, if this rematch happens somewhere close, I'm going.
I mean, you know where it needs to happen.
Memphis.
Clearly.
I want it to happen super close, and I got super excited when I saw that story, and I went, okay, so David Arquette, by the way, might be having one of the best years in wrestling.
I'll give you that.
So kudos to him for coming back to wrestling when I know that he didn't have to and proving to himself, and it makes his championship run at WCW legitimate in my mind.
Yeah.
Like it might have taken 20 years for you to get to this point, but you are a legitimate WCW champion in my head now. You are no longer the worst world champion. Sorry.
Aww.
Yeah, no, I never counted him as the worst world champion. That goes to Vince Russo, but
appreciate it.
Yeah. But he's not even in like the top 5 worst WCW champions now for me.
Oh, that's sad.
Like there's some bad WCW champions. Let's just call it what it is. Impact, Scarlett Bordeaux, and Killer Cross have both asked for their releases. And Jordan Grace was wrestling not under contract. Are you fucking kidding me, Impact? They did sign her to a deal. God bless you for that because you needed her.
I wish she wouldn't have.
I wish she would have went somewhere else. Like, I don't want her to go. Like, and here's the thing. I know her husband works for Ring of Honor, and Jonathan Gresham's amazing. Jonathan Gresham's going to be a name you see eventually somewhere big. Like, you know he is. Like, just...
He's going to one of the two. He is. When this contract is up, I expect it.
But I think Jordan...
would be wonderful in NXT.
Jordan Grace would have been great for AEW's women's division. Like, I'm 100% sure she would have flourished. Like, her... And this is not a knock on Impact. But if Impact was smart, and I mean, they do have a deal with AAA, and AAA has a deal with AEW. Does that mean Impact and AEW might work together? Please.
Maybe.
But having if they could get Tessa and Jordan Grace and Rosemary,
they'd be
which would kill Impact's women's division because Scarlett leaving's a blow. But if they could get the other 3, it automatically kills Impact's women's division. But it would just make their women's division, as much as I love WWE right now in the women's department, because that's probably the one thing they are clicking on.
Yeah. And
they canceled Evolution, the dickwads. But if there's one thing I can say that AEW would have,
an amazing women's division.
I just
possibly the best.
I don't think you could top Tessa and Jordan and Kylie Ray and Allie and Nyla Rose. God, I can't talk. And all the women from Japan that are coming over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be... and Brandy. Because I'm not going to leave Brandy out of this, because she's actually better in the ring than I think anyone expected her to be. So...
I mean, she's had good teachers.
Yeah, there's that. I expect a lot of the women that there's 2 divisions right now that's going to get hit hard eventually, and it's Impact's women's division and Ring of Honor's women's division. I expect Kelly Klein to show up in AEW or WWE. Like, yeah.
It's time.
These 2 divisions are going to get rated hard within the next 2 years. Let's just call it what it is. Because I expect Rosemary to show up at AEW now.
Easily. She needs to. Her friend's there.
So Impact. And then Impact on their network, which I'm not sure what the network is. We're just gonna call it the network of stupidity. I don't honestly know what Impact's network is. I'm looking this up. It's a really small network that no one watches. They're on Twitch. I'm pretty sure more people watches them on Twitch.
That's kind of sad.
Wrestle Circus returned last week.
I'm really excited about them.
And that's a must see. Like if you're gonna go see wrestling live, Pursuit Channel.
What?
The Pursuit Channel.
What is that?
Let's see. Which is owned by Anthem. Oh God.
Fuck that hell.
But the Pursuit Channel is an American television network that airs programming geared to hunting, fishing, shooting, and other outdoor recreation. It is based in Glenwood, Alabama.
Nope.
Fuck Alabama. Sorry, anybody from Alabama. Pursuit is currently available to over 45 million cable subscribers, cable, satellite, and customers, along with web and digital media players.
Nope.
The network schedule mainly is made up of brokered programming purchased in by blocks by producers of outdoor programming or companies advertising their product as part of a sponsorship. In January 2013, Anthem Sports and Entertainment purchased a significant ownership in Pursuit Media, and on January 11, 2019, Anthem's professional wrestling property, Impact, began airing on its television network. Impact's airing on Pursuit, and right before this amazing main event, which I think was Jordan Grace and Taya Valkyrie, they never came back. They went to commercial, and the show never came back.
What?
20 minutes of straight commercials. And when the top of the hour happened, they just went on to the next show. Yeah. So for whatever many fans there are that watch on the Pursuit Channel, they didn't get to see the main event.
What?
Yeah. That's some WCW era shit, man. We're talking a lot about WCW today, aren't we?
I mean, it's kind of coming back. Everything comes full circle.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's been more than 7 years. It's new again.
Okay, so we're back now. Every week on Sundays, we're going to be back. We might actually talk wrestling news one week. We may watch an old wrestling show the next week. It'll
be something. It'll be one of the wrestling shows, and we'll tell you at the beginning of the show which one it's going to be.
We'll probably do some promotion on our social media pages at TBK Magazine on Twitter and at TBK Mag on Instagram and at Facebook.com/TBK Magazine. Okay, so take that out of consideration. But yeah, no, so this is one of those shows where it's like, okay, we talked a lot about WCW today, but let's talk about StarCast. So StarCast 2 is happening also this week, and, I'm no longer upset with what happened. I'm past it. I've grown. I've had sex since then. It's cool. We've had wrestle romps in the bedroom. We're good.
That does not make this better.
Well, but I feel at this point, it's still a good convention, and if you're a wrestling fan, you should go. Like especially if you're a fan of older wrestling stuff, this is a good convention. I do think this StarCast has been plagued, but part of that is not their, and I would say 90% of that's 99.9% is not their fault.
I mean, people pulled their guys.
Let's talk that first. So Undertaker and Kurt Angle both announced for StarCast 2. WWE pulled them,
and that's not their problem. That's not their fault.
But WWE also didn't do anything to make that situation better.
It's because WWE doesn't care. They're trying to ruin things.
Well, also, WWE believes that StarCast is an AEW property.
And while it's technically not...
Conrad Thompson is listed, by the way, under the commentary team for AEW. I don't know if he's going to be part of AEW or not. He says he's not. It's wrestling. It's wrestling. I don't know half the time. He probably would be decent at it.
He jumped ship from WWE to...
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we're never going to see a second season of something else to wrestle. I'm pretty sure of that now.
Yeah, about that.
So, but there's a difference between this StarCast and the first StarCast. The first StarCast had everybody. Like, if you weren't in WWE, you were there.
Pretty much.
Like, even if you were on a WWE's Legend contract, you were
there.
This one, however, I think the fact that
it's a legitimate concern now because there's another promotion to go with it.
Well, and the fact that All In was so, like, I feel that was a
groundbreaking.
I feel like that was a once in a lifetime thing. Like, we have a show about All In, but how special was All In? Seriously.
It was great.
Like, that whole night from Flip winning the Battle Royal and, like, to...
He DJ'd for us for 2 hours before that.
And danced like a mofo. Him and DJ Z, who just signed an NXT contract, by
the
way. So, like, Flip's out there breakdancing and having a grand old time in a fucking 3-piece suit in fucking August. Or September 1st. It was hot as hell.
It was fucking hot. It was bad.
And he killed it. He fucking killed it. To coming in wearing a lucha mask and pretending he's El Chico's son. To the SCU match in the pre-show against the Briscoes, which I'm not the biggest Briscoes fan, but that was a good match.
Yeah.
To seeing Matt Cross and MJF have a tear down their house in the opener.
It was great. That whole thing was great.
Like, there's moments of that show, seeing Jericho come out and attack Kenny, the main event being rushed, the crowd giving the speech to the crowd, and Cody almost blurting out there's going to be a second show. Because they stopped him. Like, I went back and watched that video, and they're like, Cody did say, well, let's go all double or nothing. And he already announced the show, but he was going to announce when.
Yeah.
He was
ready.
See it. You could see it in that man's eyes that it was coming.
Well, I mean, from the start of them planning All In,
you knew this had to be the general direction.
Like, there's been stuff in the works that they've had to keep so many secrets.
Like TNT, and I mean, they weren't going to tell us about Starcast. Starcast came out. All In Weekend was special. Now, I don't know if this one will be as special as All In Weekend. It's going to be huge because it's the birth of a promotion, even though I think this is, in my opinion, the second show. Because no matter what, All In's their first show. Because that's the trial. That's the show that gave them TNT. Yeah. That's the show that gave us all of the buzz that they're having now. It's the show that we're all like, that's the show.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Starcast getting announced and having everybody at that too. But they had guys from Ring of Honor. They had guys from New Japan. They had guys from Impact. They had guys and gals from everywhere across the globe. The only place you didn't see them was from WWE.
That's because I think everybody was really convinced they're not going to leave.
Well, that's the next part I get to. And then the January 1st announcement comes. And I don't know if, as a fan, you had to have, like, even as a wrestling fan, even as a most skeptical wrestling fan in the world, you had to know that the genuine next step for those guys was not going to be re-signing with Ring of Honor or signing with New Japan, or because I mean it's either WWE or they start their own promotion.
Yeah, I mean that's the only options that there are there.
Like, I'm sorry to Ring of Honor, but I mean they could have went to Impact. Kenny almost went to Impact from what I've read. There was Kenny and Don Callis are super close, and they gave him a decent offer, but it's not going to be close to what he's getting now.
No,
but he considered it.
I mean, I feel like you have to consider everything.
But to know here's the deal, it's on the table. But you had to know the Bucks, Cody, and Hangman, even though Hangman had never got his Ring of Honor world title run or anything to that extent.
That's more on Ring of Honor than on him, though.
The fact that they had done pretty much everything. I still think they're the reason that Ring of Honor sold out Madison Square Garden.
They are.
I think they're the reason Ring of Honor sold out, like, even had the crowds they did. I'm not knocking Ring of Honor, but let's just call it what it is. Those guys were above Ring of Honor last year.
Yeah.
Before All In even happened, those guys were above Ring of Honor.
I'll give you that.
And that's shitty to say. I would say those guys became above Ring of Honor the day that the night that Cody and Kenny had their blow up.
Yeah.
That's when things started going okay. Because the Kenny Cody story that they did in Ring of Honor, and then so that was fine. we knew the next general step for this was going to either be their own promotion. So Ring of Honor, like, they start their own promotion. They make the announcement on January 1st at midnight on a special BTE, which is fantastic, by the way.
Yes, it was.
Where it's like everybody's got the AEW logo except Hangman, who has the Double or Nothing logo, and it's just like, oh, that's genius. And then they do the Kenny story with the missing phone, and like this is fucking wonderful.
It was. It was really good.
Okay, so that being said, you know the companies are butthurt.
That's because grown men don't understand how to handle other people.
You know that they were upset at Ring of Honor. You know that Ring of Honor's upset with them for leaving. You know New Japan's upset for them with leaving. You know that the NWA's upset. Because I think the NWA had a lot bigger plans for Cody.
I feel like they probably did, but...
Because NWA is working with Ring of Honor exclusively.
And I mean, that's on them.
But that's fine, because they needed that. They need that. Like, they need a big promotion to help them. I think after All In, I'm kind of surprised that there isn't a relationship between the NWA and AEW.
That's kind of what I felt like that was going toward, and I don't understand why it didn't.
Because they made that deal with Ring of Honor first. But I don't know if right after All In, if anybody knew this was happening. Like, I'm going to assume the talks for AEW started like a month after. I don't expect this to be, just immediately right after All In happened. Mm-hmm. But there is a reason that StarCast doesn't have as many names at this convention as they did at the first convention.
People are mad.
People are pissed. And WWE, there's legends from WWE at this show. I mean, Arn Anderson's going to be on microphone for the first time. He probably has a Legends deal. I assume he does. If he doesn't, Billy Gunn is part of AEW. I assume that there's a Legends deal on table for them too. Like, I feel like they have to have a deal because they're going to use his likeness on stuff.
I feel like that's kind of a thing.
But they didn't, they couldn't make a play on that. I mean, X-Pac's there and his awesome dog. And he's going to get high with Ron Funches.
So sweet.
He's going to get high with the Ron Funches, and that might be worth watching.
I feel like that means you also have to sit at home and get high and watch wrestling.
That's actually what it's called. It's get high and watch
no,
wrestling.
I feel like the watch along at home means you need to get high.
Well, actually, it's watch wrestling and get high, I think is the exact. But by the way, I didn't realize that Ron Funches was in the superhero one that took place. Yeah, it clicked in my head the other... What was that show called? Powerless?
Powerless.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was Ron Funches.
What?
Until like 3 days ago.
What?
Yeah. I didn't realize it was Abed and Ron Funches until 3 days ago.
That was real. That was literally the only thing I knew him from.
Yeah, no, I knew him from stand-up. I didn't... Yeah, okay, put back.
That was the only thing I knew him from.
All right, so back... So, WWE's already pulled Kurt Angle and The Undertaker. And that sucks.
It does.
The Japan stars couldn't get visas. Well, we're not going to get political. Ashley Massaro passed, and she was supposed to be part of StarCast. Mm-hmm. And then Ric Flair's health. It's been a rough guy. And StarCast, and I'll give them all the credit in the world, because we've seen conventions that do not cater to fans in this instance, just don't give a shit. We have seen it. We have been to some of these conventions.
We have.
They are at least catering to the fans that,
They're trying to make it better.
Yeah, and they're trying to replace the roast. And I'm going to go ahead and say it now, guys. I love them. Like, I love a lot of the wrestlers to death, but it's going to be hard to replace that.
I'm sure they can come up with a decent
it's
one,
not going to be.
It's not going to be Ric Flair.
It's not going to be as good as the Ric Flair roast would have been.
Nothing was going to be as good as the Ric Flair roast.
Because that was worth the money alone.
Ric Flair roasts himself.
That's worth the money alone. So... I mean, it is what it is. I do believe that we would have actually bought a package at this one. It is Joey Janela's Spring Breakfast, where you can have breakfast with all the GCW stars.
Nice.
Including Marco Stunt and Nick Gage. 100% fine with it. And the Invisible Man. 100% fine. Bryce Rensburg may have the best photo shoot of the weekend, as long as WrestleCrap doesn't do something crazy.
Okay.
It's him with the Invisible Man. And I died laughing because that's the photo shoot. For anybody who does not know, Bryce Rensburg was the ref at Chikara who does all the independent stuff during WrestleMania weekend. He's probably the best ref in wrestling outside. He is. He's the best ref in wrestling.
I'll give that.
And now he's all elite. And I probably have never been as happy as I have been for a signing than I am for Bryce Rensburg to all elite.
I really like Bryce. He's really sweet.
So anybody who's in Vegas, have fun at StarCast this weekend because, dear God, they've got some great stuff planned. I know it sucks. I know the Ric Flair thing, and I hope Ric Flair gets better because I don't want it. Like, Ric Flair's a legend, and I know his health has not been the greatest lately. His surgery was successful, by the way.
Good to know.
But it is kind of hard to come back from heart surgery in, 3 days? 4 days?
Yeah, that's not how that works.
So, all right. So we're going to talk Double or Nothing now. Some small news about this show. Of course, we now know it's going to be on pay-per-view. In America, it's going to be on Bleacher Report Live, who shows sporting events from major soccer and other sporting events. Traditional pay-per-view, Fight International, ITV in the UK. There's going to be ways to watch it.
Yeah.
$49.95. Okay, does the price point bother you?
Not particularly.
Okay, why? Because we had this discussion.
Because I expect quality.
Okay. So
and if you look at any other wrestling pay-per-view or any other UFC pay-per-view, you're paying more than that. You're paying $20 to $35 for crappy independent wrestling on Fight.
Impact, by the way, is $40.
There you go.
Ring of Honor, the Supercard of Honor, was $40.
I know we paid $35 for a Ring of Honor show, and it wasn't great.
We paid $35 for Ring of Honor once, and then the second Ring of Honor show we bought was $19.99. Supercard of Honor was only $19.99, by the way. I think we bought it early enough. But the night that Cody
it got more expensive.
But the night that Cody won the title that show was really good.
It was. I expect this show to be really good.
I expect the show to be better than that one. The question is this show going to be better than All In? That's where it comes down to, because that's the only thing you can compare this show to.
Personally, no, I don't think so, because we were at All In and we cannot accurately judge it.
That's true. It hurts.
Period, we cannot accurately judge it because we were there.
But I think this show's going to be fan-fucking-tastic.
I expect it to be great.
But the big news story out of this show right now is the Hangman Page Pac match is canceled. But not because I know they're citing creative differences. I believe that's the story. I think there's visa issues with Pac because he can't leave UK right now. So I'm hoping that this ends up being where they go to the UK for a show there, and then he gets everything situated, and we see him later this year because he had to cancel WrestleCon too. He was supposed to be at WrestleCon, and he couldn't make that because of these stupid visa issues, whatever the hell that's going on there.
It's ridiculous.
So hopefully that gets taken care of. I mean, that's really the big story outside that. New wrestlers being announced to the Casino Battle Royale each week on Being the Elite. Tomorrow there's a new episode of Being the Elite. They're calling it the pre-Double or Nothing BTE, which I'm going to tell you, that show before All In and before this event, maybe the best wrestling builds I've seen. I'm 100% invested in a fucking battle royal where I know no one in it. Well, I mean, we know people in it, but we know nothing.
Yeah.
By the way, I would love to see Mike Quackenbush in an AEW ring one time.
Yeah.
He just announced he's on his 25th anniversary as a wrestler. He's going to do 25 matches this year. He has sent a letter to promoters that he wants to wrestle and who he wants to wrestle. But I feel I would love to see him on a grand stage one time because he deserves it.
He does.
That dude is amazing.
He is.
Okay, so I guess it's time to break down Double or Nothing. My God, we're here.
Dun, dun, dun.
It has been, 6 long months?
Yeah.
8, or since October. It all started with a bet with Dave Meltzer to not be able to put 10,000 people in a wrestling arena. Not only did they beat that, they kicked it in the nuts. And then
woo!
And then they started a new promotion.
Yeah.
And decided to put another 14,000 people in a venue.
My biggest gripe about Double or Nothing is that they did not make it 20,000 people.
I know what Nick Jackson said. It was either Matt or Nick that said we should have done like a 50,000 seat venue. I'm calling something. Not this year. They're not going to do it this year.
But it'll happen.
I think their next big, I think All In's going to be their WrestleMania. I think that's going to be the weekend of their rest. It's always going to be Labor Day. That being said, I am going to put money on the table that they start running football stadiums for that show, and the first one they run is Jacksonville.
It's appropriate.
But put money on the table now that they run Jacksonville's football stadium next year.
But no, like specifically because of the name of the show, I am upset that they did not do a 20,000 person arena. Like that is literally my only problem with it is they called it Double or Nothing and they did not put double the people in an arena.
So there is 2 matches on the pre-show, which you can watch for free on the Being the Elite or the All Elite Wrestling YouTube channel, as well as all the ways you can watch pay-per-view. I assume they're. I know it's on BR. It's on Bleacher Report Live.
Yeah, it's on Bleacher Report.
But I don't know
we
about.
haven't looked at anything else.
I don't know
honestly.
about Fight. I don't know, but so any of our fans, because we have a lot of fans in the UK. If you guys have not seen it, I apologize. I don't know how you guys can see it there. Up first, Kip Sabian or Sabin. I'm probably going to mispronounce his name. Versus Sammy Guevara. You know who? I don't know if you remember Sammy Guevara.
I do.
Yeah, he's the one who wrestles with pandas on.
I
his
know.
Yeah, I was letting everyone else know.
Everybody else should know.
At Wrestle Circus, but he also has his own YouTube channel, who's really good. It has a fun YouTube channel as well. He's in every episode of Being the Elite now. I feel like this is the match they're starting the show with. Like, you have these 2 guys. I don't know anything about Kip. I'm going to look him up later. I know he's from the UK. Him and Jimmy Havoc are coming pretty much together. He looks like he's a really good guy in the ring. There's a match with Joe Hendry that you can watch on YouTube. And I love Joe. By the way, somebody needs to fucking sign damn Joe Hendry just for the fact of his musical entrances alone. But I think this is what starts. This is going to set the tone. I'm picking Sammy because he's the more Go ahead.
Go ahead.
He's the more recognizable name here to American fans, but I don't know because this is the first show. By the way, this is for the Fanny Pack. Probably should make that clear, right?
Screw you, dude.
Loser gets the Vince Russo photo again. So yeah, who do you have?
Sammy.
Yeah, no, I mean this is a tough one to choose.
No,
but
it's not.
All right, next up,
Wrestling Pandas.
Wrestling Panda. The Casino Battle Royale. Okay, so I love the concept. One, I love Royal Rumbles. You can set up a Royal Rumble style match and I'm there, right? But I love this idea. 4 groups of 5. Like, it's going to start with 5 guys, then another set of 5 guys, then another set of 5 guys, then another set of 5 guys, and then the person who draws the Joker comes out as number 21. I love that. I think that's a fantastic idea. In this match, which the winner of this match gets a shot at the future AEW World Champion. So they're setting up something.
Yes.
So in this match is Sonny Kiss, Brandon Cutler, and if you haven't seen this week's episode of Being the Elite from Monday, watching him sign his AEW contract is fantastic. It's probably the most emotional moment I've ever seen. Ace Romero, Glacier, fucking Glacier, Brian Pillman Jr., Sunny Days, who does all the video work for AEW, MJF, Joey Janela, Dustin Thomas, who I don't know who that is, Billy Gunn, Jimmy Havoc from the UK, who is a deathmatch wrestler. So if we do not see Jimmy Havoc versus Joey Janela in a deathmatch at some point, I'm going to be sad. Michael Nakazawa, Jungle Boy, Isaiah Cassidy, Mark Quinn, and Luchasaurus.
I appreciate that name.
Plus 5 more guys to be announced. Now here comes the fun part. Do you do a huge debut here? because now you have 2 spots. You know Hangman's going to have a match.
Yes.
Hangman's is against a mystery opponent.
Yes.
Do you do 2 big spots here?
I mean, I feel like you do at least a moderately big spot here because this is your attention grabber on free television.
And YouTube, and like people are going to watch this no matter what.
You know what I mean when I say
no.
free television.
People are going to watch this no matter what.
Yeah.
No, I get you. Do you pick someone who's in the field, or do you pick someone who's not been announced?
I pick MJF.
Wow. So there's three names here that make me want to fight. That like in my head, it's either MJF, Joey Janela, or it's a third.
I feel like they've got other plans for Joey Janela at this point. And I don't think this is his time. He doesn't need to be one of the first 1 or 2 champions. He needs to be a little bit further when it's a little more stable.
Well, I mean,
he's a little more stable.
Like whoever wins this just gets a shot at the champion.
I know.
But
I am aware.
no, but that means they're probably not going to be in the title hunt when they do however they do that, because I figure they're going to do a one-night tournament. That's what I expect all of them to be.
MJF is not going to be in the title hunt because he's just below that level.
Is he though?
And he gets cocky and leaves things.
Is he though?
Yeah.
This is a really tough situation because like it's either you take the field or you take one of the remaining spots, and
Pick a guy.
There's so many people on the independents that I would love to see. By the way, Ethan Page just had a tremendous match with Jackson Crawley and Cape.
Really?
And tore it down. And I don't know if Ethan Page is a free agent or not.
But
we also know that Marco's in Vegas. And there's a possibility that we might see Marco in this.
I would love to see Marco in this battle royal.
I
like that guy a lot.
I'm gonna take this 5. I have to, because I could see someone debuting here that's not the big name. But you know, we're going to pull something out of their ass for the show.
Yeah.
I don't expect this to be the big debut for the night, but I could see this being Sean Spears.
Yeah.
I could see this, and for anybody who does not know who that is, this is the former Ty Dillinger. I could see him. I don't think this is where you would throw in a John Moxley.
No.
But this is a good spot to throw in like a Las Vegas guy like Ryback.
I'll give you that.
Because like he's getting traction, as like fans love that guy right now. And
I'm glad to have seen him turn it around.
Also in that list of guys, I know Jack Swagger is not somebody you enjoy, but he's a name that's being thrown out there.
He's very oddly proportioned. He's
kind of a doucher, but it is what it is. Like he's good in the ring. You can't really take that. No, you just didn't. Like he's had some great independence. He's fighting for Bellator. By the way, speaking of Bellator, I know this is off subject, but Jack Gallagher just got offered a Bellator contract.
Oh.
He was an amateur MMA fighter. That would explain a lot. But 5. Yeah. 5. There's 5 open spots in this. I'm looking forward to this.
That's gonna be good.
I love battle royales, and then add the thing to it, and all right, it's time for the main card. SoCal Uncensored. Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, Scorpio Sky, SCU. Still probably my favorite thing ever recorded, and one day I'll release that recording as us sitting in front and that line of people, just when you say SCU, everyone said SCU.
Yep.
Like you wouldn't even have to say it, and just people would say it anyway. It was great. Versus Oriental Wrestling Entertainment, Seema, T-Hawk, and L. Lindemann. At least I got those names right. Who do you have?
SCU.
Yeah, I can see SCU losing this match, honestly.
But I don't want to.
I don't want them either. Like I feel this is an opportunity, but Daniels is a very unselfish wrestler who is also in charge of talent. So I could see them losing. And if they do lose, Daniels will take the pin. I'm picking SCU, but I'm going to say this. If they do lose, Daniels takes the pin.
I'll give you that.
You know what? I know nothing of the guys that are coming in from China. Nothing.
No, this is going to be a fun learning experience.
So I'm hoping they're entertaining. I'm hoping they're really super entertaining.
I'm sure they will be.
A tag match just announced: the best friends Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta versus Angelico and Jack Evans, who tag teamed in Lucha Underground. So that's interesting. Who do you have?
Best friends.
I don't know. This one's tough because like I know the best friends are shown in BT and all that, and like they have more. I'm gonna take Angelico and Jack Evans. I feel there's just so much high flying there. This match is gonna be great. This match is gonna be fun. Like if you've not seen Angelico and Jack Evans tag, you should.
It's gonna be. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care who wins. I do not care.
You just
who
want a
wins.
good show. You just want a good show.
That's all I want. I don't want shitty endings. I don't want dumb stuff to happen.
We know we have new. Our announced team for the night is. I'm gonna get this wrong too. I don't know if Jim Ross is actually going to be part. I've got it. I don't know if Jim Ross is going to be part of the show or not.
Okay.
He did try. He is doing calls, so we might have Jim Ross on commentary as well.
Which would be kind of epic. Not gonna lie.
With with Alex Marvez with Alex Marvez and Excalibur, which would be holy crap, right? Excalibur is.
Yeah.
I love Excalibur. I'm so excited to hear him on a major show because we didn't get to hear him at All In because we were there, and I know a lot of people were talking really huge of him at that night. So next up is a 6-woman tag team match. I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm just gonna apologize now for effing this up, everybody. So here we go. Aja Kong, Yuka Sakazaki, and Emi Sakura. Oh my god. Akira Shida versus Akira Shida. Ro, I believe. I don't know. And Ryo Mizunami. Jeez. Yep. That was fun to say. I know.
I attempted to write those down as you said them.
If anybody listening at home right now, if you will start the "you fucked up" chants at me, I would be 100% accepting of this.
Who was the first person you named?
Aja Kong. I know I know her. She was in WCW and WWE. I'm picking the second team. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Do you have a reason behind it?
Nope.
Well, I'm going to pick the first one.
There you go. All right, there you go. Next up, I really don't know. Let's go Hangman Page's match. Okay, so we know Hangman Page is going to be in a match. Hangman Page just won. Okay, so do we count this match with Pac as an AEW match?
No.
Because it didn't happen in an AEW ring?
Yes.
Okay. Because if so, Hangman Page has the first win in AEW history.
No, he doesn't.
It was a good match, by the way.
That's
And you
a
can
good
check that on their All Elite channel. So, who does Hangman Page face? And who wins, I believe, is where this goes. So, first up, who do you think is the mystery opponent?
I feel like the strongest mystery opponent right now is probably Jon Moxley. I do not feel like this is the time for Punk. I feel like if he does come back to wrestling and he does come to AEW, it's going to be in Chicago. I feel like that's a thing. If it's going to be a thing, that's the way the thing's going to happen. I think Jon Moxley is the person. I
think it's Joey Ryan.
Which would also be phenomenal.
And
I would actually prefer that. But
there's a great story there. Because they never really had their match from the dick plexing and the dick jokes and all of that from All In. I also think Joey Ryan could win the damn Battle Royal.
That would be phenomenal.
If Joey Ryan wins the battle, because I do expect to see some of the people from Lucha Underground to be part of this, because now they're out of contract.
Yes.
He's one of those guys that I just expect to see. And
I would love to see him all of the time.
He's at StarCast that weekend. So
he's one of my favorite people.
That also helps, by the way, knowing who's at StarCast and who's not. Right?
I just want you to remember that I'm the one that called the Hardys returning.
You did.
You told me I was dumb.
I'm if
There's no ifs. It's
no.
either...
I'm picking Joey Ryan. Now here's the other thing too. Punk is only an hour flight away from where they're at that night.
I know. I just don't.
No, I want to get into this real quick. If it's CM Punk, Hangman Page is the main event.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy to say.
No, it doesn't.
Well, no, because it's like, oh, no one's going to see Hangman yet as that main eventer.
They do.
I think. I don't know if everybody tuning into
Not
AEW the first.
Everybody does,
but anybody who's watched anything with the Elite know that
most people
underrated.
see him as that, and more importantly, the people that are writing and booking see him as that person.
Because I think he's the first champion of the company.
I believe so.
It's either him or Kenny.
It's him.
But
Kenny's too easy of a pick.
But when you're going to a new channel and you want to bring in fans, shit, Jericho would probably be a hell of an option at that point too.
Kenny's always done better in the chase.
Yeah,
and then you have like the inner turmoil of, do I really want to fight my friend?
Which was great storytelling. I'm going to pick Hangman Page to win because I feel like you have to at that point. But like, Punk's only an hour away. If Punk does sign, which Tony Khan wants, by the way, I do believe two of the people in the Battle Royal is going to be the librarians. I do believe it'll be
There's two of them?
Yeah, Peter Avalon is the librarian, and Leva Bates is the librarian.
Why are there two librarians?
I think for setting up for something fun.
The Battle of the Books?
Probably. Like, I just wanted... I said on Twitter that if there's not a Dewey Decimal death match, I'm 100% sad. Writes its damn self. Come on.
I don't know you anymore.
Getting pile drived on War and Peace would be fucking hysterical. But CM Punk's only an hour away. By a flight. Tony Khan wants to sign CM Punk so bad. I feel like he would throw him $20 million. Be like, look, come. I don't know if I'm exaggerating.
I don't think you are.
Because if CM Punk will return to wrestling, it's here. Let's just call it what it is. He's never going back to WWE.
No.
There is that story that came out that he went to that independent show in a mask and hit the GTS. And then, I mean, it does look like him. I'm not going to lie. It also moves, whoever is in that mask moves really terribly, so that's great too. So then you don't know for sure if it's him, but now you think it's him. But yeah, this is the moment he comes back is with AEW. It's going to be at one of the big shows. There's no bigger show than your first pay-per-view, because if you do, like, other than that first show on TNT, right?
Yeah.
Because if you do the first pay-per-view, then you get people wanting to go with the replay. Like, if you're on the fence about ordering this show and you hear from somebody, CM Punk just returned to wrestling, you're ordering the replay.
Yeah.
This kind of becomes one of those, do you do something crazy right out the gate moments.
I feel like it's better held for a little bit.
So that'll be interesting to see where that goes. Let's go to the women's match, the triple threat women's match, or the three-way dance. I don't know what the hell they're going to call it. Britt Baker, DDS.
Thought she was DMD.
Oh, it is DMD, isn't she? Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Thank you.
Nyla Rose and Kylie Ray. I am so fucking excited for this match. I can't. In fact, I will say something that no one else will say. This is probably the match I'm looking forward to the second most.
Oh.
And it's not Kenny and Jericho. Jericho's that's number 4.
Okay. Well, who you got in this match?
Huh?
Who you got in this match?
Okay, so Britt Baker was at Upfronts. Mm-hmm. Part of me thinks it's Britt Baker.
Okay.
But then there's like part of me that thinks Nyla Rose wins.
Okay.
I'm torn.
Gotta pick.
I know. I think Kylie Ray takes the pin.
Agreed.
I think Kylie Ray takes the pin. Because I think they're going to build the entire women's division around Britt. I think that's the smart answer anyway. I think she's probably the biggest performer right now.
That.
Outside maybe Penelope Ford and Oh, crap. I'm looking. Bea Priestley.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think that's kind of, with the women's roster, Bea Priestley, Britt Baker, Leva Bates, Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, Kylie Ray. Like, I think the women's roster is really good.
It is.
Britt Baker cannot take the loss here.
No.
I'm going to go with Nyla.
Okay.
I'm going to do it. I'm going with my heart on this one.
Okay.
Who do you have?
Britt Baker.
It's going to be a fun match.
I know all three of these women, but still picking her.
I don't think I've ever seen Kylie Ray in a match. I know I looked up Nyla because I wanted to know who she was after she came out at the press conference. And she's fantastic. I'm excited to see her in the ring. We saw Britt Baker at All In. She is tremendous. I've only heard good things about Kylie, so I'll probably look up a Kylie Ray match before Double or Nothing. I'm excited for this one.
You should be.
What else? Let's go with the tag team match for the AAA World Tag Team titles. It is the Young Bucks defending against the Lucha Bros, Penta L0M and Phoenix, or Pentagon Jr. or like Pentagon Dark. Penta. I don't know how many names this dude has. Okay, so it is the Lucha Bros versus the Young Bucks. It's your turn to go. Who you got?
Lucha Bros.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that. I think the Young Bucks lose here, too. I think the tag titles go back to them.
But it's going to be a great match.
Oh, this is probably the main... Okay, so I take that back. This is probably the... I don't know where this match sets on the show.
It might be the match of the night, though.
Yeah, no. It's either this one or Hangman's match. I'm going to call that. I think it's either this one or Hangman's match for a match of the night. Because this is going... They had their match in Mexico, and it was great. Like, I'm 100% excited for this. This is my third excited match of the night. Because now I can't put Hangman's match on the list anymore. Because we don't know who he's taking on. Like, it was Pac, and I was like, that's my number 2. The women's match is number 3. The women's match now moves to number 2. This is my number 3. This is a great match. Like, I'm so damn excited. Because we got to see Phoenix and the Young Bucks work together at All In.
We did, and that was
Holy
great.
shit. And then the press
even rushed and ridiculous, it was great.
Then the press conference where they pal drove, I think, Matt Jackson on the stage, and they set that up early. Like, I went... Plus, the Young Bucks are all in, no pun intended, on making tag team wrestling huge. And they are the team to do it. There's them, the Best Friends, the Lucha Bros, and there's... I think they just signed... Super Smash Bros, who's a tag team out of Canada. And then they signed... Oh, God, I can't think of the other tag team.
You also got SCU on that list.
Yeah, SCU. Well, I mean, yeah. Private Party, who I don't know anything about, but I'm excited to see what they do. So, I'm intrigued. But yeah, I'm going to pick the Lucha Bros to take back the AAA tag team titles as well. So, next up at Double or Nothing, it is brother versus brother. It is Cody versus Dustin. And this is the match I'm looking forward to the most.
I'll give you that.
When Cody... Okay, so let's go back a couple of weeks ago on the road to Double or Nothing. If you haven't been watching that's been amazing. Like, they did that for All In, and those were those were fantastic.
Yes.
It was like a nice complimentary piece. The one they did for All In was a complimentary piece to BTE.
Yep.
I think this time the Road to Double or Nothing is BTE is the complimentary piece to the Road to Double or Nothing. I think the Road to Double or Nothing is so freaking outstanding. And then, like, the night when they announced that Cody's opponent for Double or Nothing was going to be Dustin. And you're watching that going, oh, it's about time. We've been wanting to see this match for years. When WWE turned Cody into Stardust, we wanted that match. Hell, you just became a fan right after Cody became Stardust. And you were like, I want to see that match.
I never knew Cody Rhodes.
No, but you knew Stardust.
I knew Stardust.
And you went to see Stardust and Goldust.
I did.
And then they gave the Cody promo, where Cody said he is not here to kill the legend. He's here to kill the Attitude Era. And you're just like, holy fuck. Cody Rhodes' promo for this match alone, if you haven't seen it, you should.
That should be enough to convince you of the $50 price tag.
No, that's what did it. Because remember, I was on the fence, and then I saw that promo. Because I was like, we don't know what the price is, but we're going to expect somewhere in between 30 and 60.
Yeah.
And I even said 75, I think. It was 30 to 75. And I was like, that promo from Cody is... How do I put this and not sound like a dumb wrestling fan that's like, I'm caught up in the emotion of this, but I'm 100% sure I'm going to say it anyway. Cody's promo was on the level of his dad.
I'll give you that.
That fucking promo is the best wrestling promo in the last... That wrestling promo is better than anything since the pipe bomb.
Oh.
That promo is what could sell the entire company. Because I've never seen... we've seen Cody cut promos. Like,
Yeah.
Cody can cut promos all day long, and Cody's great. But Cody has never cut that promo. But when he looks at the camera and says, I want to kill the Attitude Era. Like, I might watch that promo after we're done recording. Like, that's how good it is. Just for him to talk about how bad he wants to kill the Attitude Era because his peers have to live up to the expectations of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's paraphrasing. And that his brother symbolizes that era. Oh, it's so good. And that's going to be... Like, that match might be terrible. I don't know how good Dustin is in the ring anymore. Like, we've seen him, but it's WWE. You can't really tell.
Yeah, they haven't given him a lot to work with for a while.
So, will this match be good? Probably not.
It's going to be amazing.
But is the emotion with it great? And will the storytelling be good? You bet your sweet ass it will be. Oh, my God.
Who you got?
I'm going to take Cody.
Okay.
I think it just makes sense.
I feel like it's appropriate.
Is that who you're taking to?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... But what a match that's going to be, right?
It'll be good.
Yeah. All right. And then probably what is the main event? At least I assume, anyway. It might be the tag match for all I know. Kenny Omega, Jericho 2. Kenny with the purple hair. Hey.
I like Kenny with the purple hair.
Kenny Jericho 2 happening on U.S. soil. The build for this match has been tremendous. The build for this show has been tremendous. The thing they're setting up on the double or the Road to Double or Nothing show with Jericho is fantastic. Like, Jericho is telling everyone that they should be thanking him for where AEW is, and it's wonderful. And Jericho is the biggest deal in the company.
As he should be.
So this sets up probably the most anticipated rematch outside of Kenny and Okada. Who wins? Who you got?
I got Kenny.
I'm taking Jericho.
Okay.
My thought is that Jericho wins, which sets up Labor Day weekend.
Number 3.
Yeah. I think they're going to do a trilogy.
I mean, that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, it would. I think we're going to see Kenny Jericho 3. And I think what they're going to do, and this is a personal idea, is I think they're going to do the world title at the Chicago show. I think that's where I figure it gets debuted at this show.
But they don't award it.
They're not going to award it until Chicago. And my thought is they're going to do a tournament.
That'd be cool.
I don't think they're going to do a one-night tournament, but I think they'll do the semifinals and the finals in Chicago.
I'll give you that.
And I think the semifinals, one of the semifinal matches is Omega Jericho, and that'll be 3. And then it'll be like Hangman and who knows on the other side of the bracket. Like Hangman and MJF. Like for all, because you never really know with that.
Yeah.
Or Hangman Daniels or Hangman. Like it'll be someone and that'll be the other match. And then the main event will be like Omega Hangman because I feel those two tore it up in New Japan and no one talks about those matches.
Yep.
But I do believe that Jericho wins to set up the third, and that's why I don't know who wins this match. That's why I don't know if the fans will be mad.
No, they won't.
Because I know one of the things that Cody has said that this is about wins or losses with AEW. They're going to matter. So this is exciting for me. Because I don't
new and different.
I don't see Kenny. Yeah, it's going to be new and different. For like the first time we've seen anything like this in a long time. Like not since the days of the NWA. Which is still just... I'm still reeling at the fact that this company is going to air on fucking TNT. Like, that, yeah, that still gets to me. So, that is Double or Nothing. That is this Saturday night, and there's a reason this show is going up on Wednesday. We are sorry we have not done a show in a while. Life has been in the way. I took vacation. You can agree with this, lady.
Yes.
We're back. And we are doing a show on Sunday, and Sunday's show is to recap this show specifically. Because we know that this show, I don't think this is going to be bad at all. I think this might be the show of the year.
It's going to be great.
Well, at least right up there. Like, for right now, this is the show of the year. I think this is going to top WrestleMania. It's going to be...
If something tops this show, it's going to be AEW.
Or NXT.
Or NXT.
You can't rule. Oh, you know what? I'll even throw GCW in on that as well because they've had some killer shit this year. That Orange Cassidy show was fun as fuck. Orange Cassidy, by the way, another name that should go to AEW. Just saying.
Yeah.
I want to see a lot of those AEW or those GCW guys on the big stage because a lot of those guys are so super talented.
They are. They deserve it.
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm pretty excited. I know the cons are 100% behind Double or Nothing. And that's nice to see.
It's going to be nice to see a promotion that is more wrestler ran. I feel
Even
like
if
we're
it
going to
wasn't
have better booking and better storylines available.
I think that's something that needs to be discussed. I think the better I think going back and looking at how WCW was, the bookers were still wrestlers, like, or were part of the wrestling industry at some point. Like, even like going and looking back at when WCW was at its top, like Eric was booking, but Eric had help, and Eric did a great job. Like, even when WWE was at its heights, it was booked by Vince and Bruce, but it was people that were in the wrestling business, and it's not Hollywood writers. And I'm not taking a knock at the WWE writing staff. Because
maybe a slight one.
Well, we don't know if they're good or bad. We really don't because it's Vince.
We're taking a knock at what's produced, not what's thought of.
And to sit and think that we have not had an actual booker who's a wrestler or wrestlers that are in the wrestling industry in so long baffles the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
Because look at other promotions like Chikara, which is ran by Quackenbush, or Game Changer, which I don't know who does Game Changer bookings, but whoever it is needs to get a raise tomorrow. Or that guy, after seeing the clusterfuck, that guy needs,
all the monies. Give that guy all the monies.
Unless that's Joey Janela's booking, and then Joey Janela should be booking everything. I got to show you something later, by the way. It involves him. But yeah, this show is going to be special, and I think we're going to talk about the show for a long time, but after what we just came off the heels of, I think WWE may have set them up for even better success.
I will give you that.
And I can't believe that those words are even being said, but had they not pulled the Lesnar card, Money in the Bank would have stood as a really great show.
And this would have been really hard to compete with, but...
Because,
you fucked it, and now people are really excited to see something good, so that's going to make this look even better because it's going to be good and not have a shitty ending.
All people want right now is something different. And that's something else, too. Competing with WWE, you cannot try to compete. You just can't go up.
It's not an actual competition. You cannot try to outdo them at what they do because they're the best at it. You have to set yourself apart and give more of what the fans want versus what an individual wants.
We talked about this before we go off here really quick. I just want to say this again. This company started with a YouTube show. That's all that needs to be said. This company started as a YouTube vlog.
Yeah.
of just Kenny and the Young Bucks doing crazy shit in Japan. Here we are 2 years later, and we are looking at a new company, a new pay-per-view. It is probably one of the most fun times to be a wrestling fan if you're not just watching WWE.
I'll give you that.
So that is going to wrap up this edition of SNS on Wednesday.
Shh, nobody will notice.
WNS? You know, I should release the show at 6:05 tomorrow. Or on Wednesday, like tonight. I should just put the show up at like 6:05.
You should.
So that's going to wrap up this edition, guys. We will see you on Sunday at 7 o'clock.
Not 7:05?
Now, you know what? Screw it. Wrestling's going up at 5 after. At 7:05 on Sunday night for the Double or Nothing recap show. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm excited. 4 hours, 5 if you count the pre-show. No one said a word about that, by the way. And I'm stoked. Ashley, would you like to add anything to this?
I'm just really excited with where this is going, and I expect to be really happy on Sunday.
I expect a really good... As we are going off the air, AEW has made a fucking announcement. As we are getting ready to quit. Hold that thought. There is breaking news.
This always happens.
There's a video. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a new entrant into the Casino Royale.
What do we got?
It is... He just drew a perfect 10.
Yay!
Sean Spears is AEW bound.
Yay!
Holy...
I like that guy.
Holy crap. That just happened. Like, just as we were I was going to, like, I probably should check the wrestling news before we go off the air, just in case, That just happened.
Yay! I like that guy.
Former Ty Dillinger is now part of AEW. He's close with Cody. Whew. I cannot believe that just happened.
This happens every time we record not on a Sunday.
Yeah, I know. Carmella also tweeted that Mandy Rose is unsafe in the ring. She also deleted the tweet. So that has happened.
We'll watch that more later.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of SNS. We will see you. We will see you next. Just saw videos of the 24/7 rule at a gas station. We will see you next time, everybody. Sunday night, 7:05 Central, 8:05 Eastern, for the next edition of SNS, where we recap what happened at Double or Nothing. So, if you're going to remember, guys and gals, if you're going to turn heel on your friends, make sure they're gullible as Sting. Good night, everybody.